Hello and welcome to the interview segment on Impact Yobe. Today, I am with the project coordinator of the Yobe State Agroclimatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscape, Akrisal, and he is Honorable Shehu Alhaji Mohammed. Honorable, we meet again.
Thank you so much, and you are welcome once again.
Thank you so much.
Second time.
Absolutely. Now, Honorable, very quickly, I would say congratulations. At least I understand that quite a number of achievements have happened under your watch, and one of them is actually the control of flooding and gully erosion in Buni in Yobe State. How were you able to pull off this beautiful, innovation?
Thank you so much. Before talking about the aspect of the flooding and then the gully erosion, let's talk briefly what does this connote in our society. By the time that actually flood or gully erosion enters into your community, number one, it washes away the vital nutrients of the soil. So inevitably, the farmers in that particular area will actually bear the brunt, meaning there is not going to be yield, meaning there is not going to be productivity, meaning perhaps you may actually experience famine. By that I mean hunger and starvation. So luckily enough, under the able leadership of His Excellency, we are able actually to put in place structures to control very serious gully erosion in Buni, which was commissioned by him last year. And it is at the same time, here at the metropolis here, in Damatru, I think about 13 kilometers of plot and gully erosion is currently taking place. And according to the contractors, by I think the end of December this year, was willing, they promised to hand over this site to us. So when such thing is done, the aspect of flooding in Damatru is going to be a history. This is a very, very serious achievement. Why? Because there are instances when the entire metropolis of Damatru severally actually have been submerged by water. Properties worth millions were lost, farmlands were lost, animals died, including human beings. But this is the first time holistically under Akrisal with the instruction or directive of His Excellency to collectively or generally address the problems of the water in Damatru and Metropolis.
All right, you can also give us the overview of how you were able to dredge the Hadija Nguru water wetlands. I think that is quite another,
The aspect of the wetlands, most popular Hadija Nguru wetland. This wetland is one of the most wonders as far as conservation is concerned. Okay. Biodiversity is concerned. In fact, this particular area has been earmarked by UNESCO as area of international heritage, where you have many, many visitors visiting this particular area hitherto. It is in that area that you have what you call the Dagona Water Sanctuary, which was commissioned by the late Princess Elizabeth II, precisely 2001. These areas also were actually visited by Princess Bernard of England, Princess Charles, and many others. In fact, the pioneer Ramsar site in the whole country was actually commissioned in this basin. And these are areas where you have birds. Birds, migratory birds flying from Italy, Germany, UK, Netherlands, down to this basin, Hadija Nguru wetland, hitherto. This bird comes in not in hundreds of thousands, but in millions. Unfortunately, with the activities of man, the quality of the water and the quantity of the water have been drastically altered, thereby reducing the migratory birds coming to these areas. Not only that, unfortunately, we have an alien species of tree called the taifa. The taifa, which happen to be invasive in nature. By invasive, I mean by the time that it actually have a contact with any kind of species of any kind of plant or vegetation, forget about it. This particular species of plant will actually submerge them. Okay. So thereby making, number one, you cannot navigate through the water. Number two, you cannot venture into fishing. Number three, the water cannot even flow, among others. So, and you cannot dredge this water manually. Many efforts from the Prime Minister of Environment, State Minister of Environment, other governmental and non-governmental organizations, all of them tried separately to clear this particular maintenance mechanically until His Excellency Honorable Memala Buni gave an order that go and purchase a dredging machine called Swambugi or amphibian excavator, which was deployed about a year ago. And for 13 years, there was no water in this area. A testimony actually given by the locals from both Jigawa and the Yobe. Our team came all around from the World Bank, and then the national office were there to interview them personally. That what do you experience? For 13 years there was no water, no fishing activity, no farming activities. But with the advent of this machine, the water started coming. Until a time when even we are trying to even bring down the machine down to offshores. Anywhere that the machine will cross is farmland. Wow. So we have to wait for a while until finally after the harvest, then we actually deploy back the machine to Nguru. Right. So telling you that actually this is a very serious achievement as far as we are concerned. For 13 years there was no water. With just an advent or deploying a machine, water comes back to life.
Now, talking about this Hadija Nguru wetlands, from the way you described it, I can tell that there are potentials there, especially if tourists start to flooding and come to experience the natural, ambience of that place. Are there plans in place to put up a structure to make it a tourist center that would, of course, generate revenue for the government as well? Because anything that has to do with conservation and wildlife, I understand that people are very much interested, and it has a unique quality of its own. So is your leadership ready to take up that challenge for now, or it's going to be...
Thank you so much. I was born there. My father was born there. His mother was then there. The father to my grandmother was born there. So for me to tell you about the history of this particular area is just... I can tell it anywhere.
I feel like visiting.
Thank you so much. This is a place hitherto that you can fly a ferry.
Wow. Okay.
And we are also blessed with a railway station. Right. The railway station in the whole of Nigeria ends in Nguru. Not only that, in 1946, we do have an aircraft. 1946, we do have. I'm telling you that the area is full. In part, we have a barrack also established in somewhere around 1973. Wow. And in addition to that, we do have what we call the wetland conservations. Okay. They were there, I think, for about 30 years. In addition, as I mentioned earlier, the Dogona Water Sanctuaries. With all these things, these are actually avenues, and you have as I earlier mentioned, you have the Ramsar site, even though the birds are no longer coming. So these are all signs or opportunities are available that actually tourists will come to this particular area. Not only that, I think 30 kilometers from there, you find yourself in the Sandung. Why you see the Sandung? I took many experts who actually visit Yobe. Even last year, there are some scientists who are from UK and from America. I took them there twice. Wow. So and there you see the oasis. Just about 30 kilometers from Guru, you see the oasis. Now, luckily enough, we got an approval now to provide power bike instead of you to be moving on the crouching sun in the deserts. As you go to Egypt, you now ride a power bike. Right. Not only fire bike, we encourage the locals. When you go to Kaska or to Lotulua, you will actually be taken maybe by horse ride or camel ride or power bike, whatever kind of means that actually you wanted to utilize. Not only that, we have Port Obasanjo, a border between, just by Port Obasanjo, it was established by Obasanjo himself and commissioned by him in the borders of Nigeria and Niger. Right. And that particular place, there was an EDF. Unfortunately, it was dilapidated. Okay. We are just very soon going to upgrade it so that if visitors go, at least they will find a place to sit down and have some snacks and some teas and maybe some restroom for their conveniences, God's willing. Right. Not only that, we are going to also even empower the oasis communities by providing them wash boreholes, power tillers for them to till their lands, so that actually there are activities for them to around the place for sandom stabilization and for them to increase their livelihood.
All right, Honorable, you have actually dug deep into that, and I think whoever is watching right now will be satisfied with the outcome of what that is going to bring up. Now, let's look at what local government areas in Yobe State have been prioritized for acrisal interventions, and what criteria were used for this selection?
Between man and God, the governor is passionate to carry along each and every community. By the time that you were here last month, he launches the second phase of agric inputs. These inputs, by his mandate, instructed that this must go around 178 wards. So as far as the government is concerned, intending with what he wants, we are not actually giving priority to one local government or the other. But interventions, as far as we are concerned, intervention cut across all the 17 local governments. But proposals for approval will be sent to the World Bank. So depending on which time or when the approval is actually given. So we don't prioritize as far as local government. All the 17 local governments in Yobe State will benefit from acrisal, but not simultaneously. And I can give you instance, not even because of the time. And in addition to this, sometimes they will like they will say venture into pilot. So, for instance, under CRF, the CRF will be enjoyed across 20 states, 19 plus FCT. So, but instead for the government for the World Bank to approve the entire something, they venture into 8. So, out of the 8, you will be benefited. So, therefore, except in such situations, and there are guidelines. They will say, let's say, for instance, catchment, Nguru catchment or Damaturu catchment. So under Nguru catchment, you will select some few local governments. Under Damaturu catchment, you select some few local governments. But priorities, as far as the government is concerned, each and every local government in Yobe is entitled to benefit in activities that he likes. But depending on the problem of Nguru may not be the same with the problems of the one that you are having in Fortas. Here in Yobe, each local government, we do have what we call the local government management committee, comprising of 9 members, chaired by the DPM, Director of Personal Management of the local government, and supported within the local government, expert in agric, expert in environment, expert in water resources, and then representative of the women folk, and then traditional rulers, then people with special disability. The secretary of that particular body is the CDO, Community Development Officer in the local government. So the structures across the 17 local governments are the same. But not only that, we have also site committee. In all our activities, in all our interventions, we do have site committees, depending on one activity or the other. So therefore, the communities are actually, in all what we do, we carry them along.
All right. Let's look at conservation with encroachment. We understand that projects of this magnitude, there are aliens who want to come and invade, people who are not from these communities who would come to try to extract some of the minerals of these places. How are you dealing with, scavengers, those who are actually hell-bent on ensuring that they bring down the glory of these projects that you have put up in most of these areas?
It's very unfortunate. We have that experience twice. People, and in a situation whereby communities, there are some communities where there is even no network. Wow. Because of the terrain is too harsh. The terrain, the desert, what do you do about that? And the land is so porous. So sometimes even communication used to be very, very difficult. So somebody will just come, say, please, we are from Abuja, we are from there. So they were able to actually penetrate into some of our areas, especially the oases. And before you know it, because the constant communication with the locals, they were able to actually get the information that we do have some aliens in the area. And before you know it, the government was aware, a committee was set off, and they ran away. Wow. So from there on, instruction was given that from today henceforth, if you see anybody telling you that he's from here or there, please immediately report. Not only that, just recently, some people just came, they said from Niger or what have you. The information was all over. I was the person who actually blew it off. That they came and then put a bless to our oasis. into the oasis. They say they are farmers, so they are farmers, and then they negotiated with some locals. Some of the locals actually were suspended with the instructions of the government. Were suspended. Why must you do that? So nobody knows what their intention or was. And because they gave money to the locals and then they hand over the oasis to them. And the next thing they will do is to put ablaze into this oasis. And luckily enough, they were cautioned. So we do have such experiences, but alhamdulillah, it's now under control.
Well, thank you very much. I think so far you've been able to touch on these vital areas and giving us an overview of how you've been able to monitor projects in these areas. Finally, what would be your message to those watching now, and what is going to be your dream, you know, being the project coordinator of ACRISA? What is
if I conclude this without thanking His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Yobe State, for giving us the hand-holding, not only giving us the hand-holding and support, but giving us the free hand to operate. And we are seeing results. I can give you an instance of one project which we call the CRF. Community Revolving Fund is golfing 10% of the entire World Bank package for ACRISA. The package is $700 million. Wow. And the World Bank earmarked 10% of that, which is about $70 million. This $70 million will be distributed across the 19 states of the FCT. As I'm telling you now, Yobe State happened to be the highest to benefit from that. We were given 111 communities. Wow. Each community is entitled to $25,000. When you multiply that, you are getting somewhere around $2,525,000. I swear to God Almighty, this particular money, the beneficiaries to this particular fund ranking, moving up to about 5 billion naira. Wow. No intervention. No, by intervention, I mean somebody to say, give this, don't give this. It has never happened in Yobe. Wow. It cut across the 17 local governments to empower the farmers. And more interestingly, this particular money is interest-free. In addition to that, it's going to be a revolving fund within the community. So by the time that you venture, you send your business proposal, after 6 or 3 months, you bring back the money. And the money will be revolved within the society. Like in the whole of this country, people are emulating and then giving kudos to His Excellency for giving us the free fund. And as I'm talking to you now, 70% of the beneficiaries get their money. As you see them now today, there are those who are unable to complete 1 or 2 things. But otherwise, all of them by now, they're supposed to get their money, except those who intend to buy in the buy-in products. For instance, now, this is now rainy season. For those who venture into farming, it is now. Right. But there are some who will just hold the money until when the farmers were able to produce and then buy from them. So for that single thing that he has done, right, I have to appreciate him and many other things that actually he gave us a hand-holding for ACRISA to prosper. Congratulations once again. Thank you so much. And
let's find out what you do away from work. How do you relax? You have given us a lot of rundown, yes.
I relate with people anywhere I go. Okay. I find a group comfortable for me to sit down and share
and chat with them.
And chat with them, chatting day in, day out. Once I am free, I don't normally actually except at home, but if I'm away, anywhere I go, I find a comfortable place and sit down and chat with people, learn from their experiences, and I also share mine. This is what I do anywhere.
As you're a people-friendly person.
Anywhere I go, but people of like minds. Not any community.
Okay, Honorable, I would quickly get to find out, are you a morning person? Do you take tea or coffee? What is your preference in the morning before you set out to work?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, tea is not for morning or evening. It's 24 hours. 24 hours at 2. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. It's nice always talking to you. It's a pleasure always having the time with you. All right, of course, you heard it from the man himself, the project coordinator of Yobe State Agroclimatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscape, ACRISA, giving us an overview and, of course, telling us specifically how His Excellency Mimala Buni has been very supportive in ensuring that Akriso touches the lives of people across Yobe State. He also mentioned how the Oasis has been protected from invaders as well and is doing everything he can to ensure that communities are not left out. So there is no special community for any special funding. Every community is benefiting from whatever Akrisal is providing. Thank you so much for staying tuned on Impact Yobe. My name is Marco Tabo. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Stay tuned.
And this is where we draw the curtains on this week's edition of Impact Yobe. Join us next week for a fresh episode of the program. My name is Marco Tabo. Thank you for watching. See you.